And we're live. Sorry for a little bit of a delay, but we're here now. So, yeah, a little bit of a delay. Yeah, just a half hour. Had something working, and then right as I moved in here, get it set up for the show. Then I moved in, and it stopped working. So that's just the way it works sometimes. But now we're ready to go, and we're off and rolling. So, since we're running late, I'm just going to jump right into the show, and we're going to take off and roll. So, this is Pete's Tech Den show number 13. This is where we talk about taking old tech and turning it, rejuvenating it, and doing new things with it. We like to take what other people see as trash and we see as a treasure. So we talk about that. We talk about some just in general new tech that looking at cheap ways to do things. And then we also talk about ethical issues. As you saw last week, we talked about just, I don't know, kind of the responsibility that we need to we have when we go and say things online like this. I mean, I have a responsibility not to abuse this. What do you call it? Abuse this privilege. Privilege. That's what I was looking for. But yeah. So, but if you want to hear about that, you can go back and watch last week's show. So, but you can't see it here, but I do have a little bit of a new setup this week. So I'm just going to turn something down. Because this week now I got my task cam, so I was able to do the USB interface to my soundboard that I have here. That I actually picked up for free. Nice honking 24 channel, fairly sizable board. And so I got that set up, so that's a little bit different. I'm not sure if my sound levels are a little bit off, possibly. They might be a little bit hot. But so let me just turn these down again here. I don't know, I'm trying to decide whether... well, we'll try that. If there's anybody out there, if they can give me... tell me what they think of the sound level, whether that's okay. If you just give me a sound check. If there's anybody out there, which right now there isn't. But this week, we're going to be looking at untangling ourselves to a more powerful router, which was really cool because I just got the Untangle, which is another piece of software similar to the PFSense, where you install it on a computer and then it basically turns it into a router. And actually, my computer's actually hooked up through it, so I'm actually broadcasting through it. But yeah, so lots of fun. But yeah, so I haven't gotten to play around with it a lot. I've looked at it. I've looked at screenshots and stuff of it. So it's kind of a little bit new as I kind of explore our way through this. But this should be fun. Lots and lots of fun. So I'm going to quick log into the web interface of it, and then I'll share that with you, and then we'll be off and running. Okay. I don't remember my password. Okay. There we go. Quick save that. Okay. I'm kind of interested to see how some of the stuff works because it looks awesome. I think I'm really going to like this, but we will see. Just kind of interested to see how it compares to the PF Sense. Because I think, at least conceptually, at least just looking at it, it looks like it should be a lot easier to manage, a lot more intuitive. Not quite. You may not be able to do quite as much with it, but what you can do with it is very easy to set up. And I think I like that. So I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna get rolling. So here's the user interface as it comes up. And I have to remember to click the button, present to everyone. Okay, so here it is. As you can tell, it looks very different. What you have here is here you have all your apps right here. Except you can't see my cursor. I'm going to switch this to just showing my desktop over there because then you should be able to see my cursor, which kind of allows me to point to things. There you go. Yeah. Okay, so you can see on this side over here, these are all they call them apps. Kind of in PSN, they're called packages, kind of thing. Kind of just gives your router just different features. Now, one thing I want to quickly distinguish is that the ones over here that I have installed are the free ones. The ones over here, which are ones that it's just showing me that they're there, but they're not installed, are the paid ones. And the paid ones are very expensive. Very, very expensive. You basically just have to buy them all package, and you're talking about it's like $50 a month. So that's the kind of the reason I don't have them. And then you also have your config. Look through all this. Okay, this is kind of where you can go through and you can look at your interfaces. As you can see here, you can set them up to which one's LAN, which one's not. You can set up your host name, domain name. For dynamic DNS, you can set that up. Look at your services. Where do you want your HTTPS? Where do you want your HTTP? You can set up your port forwarding rules, your NAT rules, your bypass rules, your routes, your DNS servers, your DHCP server. So here's where you can set up static IPs. That's kind of nice. Then advanced, you got your options. Here, you're probably just going to leave pretty much alone. You're probably not going to mess a whole lot with this. And then you come back to your network cards. Of course, I got to kind of cancel out of that. Okay. Then you got your administrative where you can set up users. It's pretty cool. Public address. Huh. Okay, so this is basically kind of look at the links, certificates. Like I said, there's a lot. I haven't dug into this a whole lot, but yeah, kind of interested to see what it says. They're kind of administrative stuff. Anything set up email? What is this? I was just looking at how this is about how the Untangle will send you like emails. It'll send you out things that are like reports, like quarantine digest, kind of telling you about what's going on the network. So you can kind of set it up to either use just send email directly, default, or whether you want to use a specified SMTP server. And then who do you want the email address to be from? Test your email. But yeah. The local directory. Kind of interesting. I don't know. I mean, I guess this is where you set up. I don't know if this is users for just the net, just getting into the PF Sense, or whether this will incorporate into some of the other stuff that we see, and getting onto the Wi-Fi, possibly with the captive portal, which we'll get to later. This is going to be kind of a brief overview, kind of similar to what we did with the PF Sense, and then may come back and take a closer look. Basically, then you have your upgrade, your system, which is kind of your system stuff, time, support, booting, shutting down the setup wizard, factory resets, your backups, your restores, your protocols, and then your shield. But yeah, kind of. I kind of want to jump from here into the apps because I kind of want to look at some of this stuff. So, we haven't quite gotten to the filter on the PF Sense. Partly because I've had a lot of problems with it, trying to get it to work, and then PF Sense upgrades, and then it's not working, and so it's kind of going back and forth, back and forth. Okay, so this looks like with the you can see this is the whatever web filter light. If you hit the more full version, it has a lot more categories pre-built into it. Right now it's just got some of this other stuff. I just want to see how this actually works. So I'm going to mark hacking. I don't. I'm just going to mark out a bunch of this stuff. I like how it makes it very clear, like those things have been added and they haven't been applied yet. That's the social. Just something inside. Go try it out. So that's set and applied. let's see what happens. Well, I kind of figured it would block that, but I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what it's. So here's just. Huh. Well, let's just see what happens if I try to go there. Well, I guess we can see this isn't exactly working. So what does that do? Let's just see. Set it up. Very specific site. Try to make sure it doesn't block us. That would be bad. Does not seem to be doing its job. I don't know. Huh. I don't know why it's not. The question. Maybe it's that. I don't know. It doesn't seem to be doing what it should be doing. As you can see, I mean, it should be. I don't know. It's like it looks pretty, but like if it's not going to do anything, it's kind of worthless. If you know what I mean. Well, of course you know what I mean. Let's try blocking a file type, maybe. And part of it is like wondering what does it do? I don't know. It doesn't seem to be blocking anything. Which is a problem. I don't know. I guess we'll jump from this and go on. I mean, he's got it's kind of, I mean, interesting concept that they have is the ability to just kind of go, and it's off. And then now it's back on. Maybe, oh, you just need a reboot. Nope. I don't know. I don't know what the, like, you know, if there's not a point to it, you know? There's only so many places to go. I mean, it's like, where do you go to find a virus? I mean, you can't really. Kind of interested to come back later and see where it's been. It's kind of nice being able to see the statistics here about what is this thing actually doing. As you can see, spam blocker and fish blocker. And I look how ones are going to be. They're going to be hard to just like say, hey, yeah, here, this is what they do. So we're going to kind of jump down from those. There's still some pretty interesting things in here. Kind of interested to see what this application control. What does this do for us? So it's like something where you're gonna need kind of a little bit more know-how, I guess. Let's pull up this help and kind of see what they probably have some examples. I love how they say it's just like writing custom signatures can be dangerous and difficult. Usually, one of the several outcomes will happen. Basically, nothing will happen. You'll block something you don't want to block. You'll partially block the protocol. You'll block the protocol, which also block other things, or it'll block the product, and the application will adapt and get around it, kind of thing. Like, oh, huh? I can see. I mean, here's this huge list of the protocols you could put in there to block things. Um, hmm. But yeah, again, that's something that's going to take some tinkering around with to see. I mean, if there's even a hey, this is actually useful kind of a thing. This one kind of looks interesting because Captive Portal, what it is it's kind of like what you see at like a restaurant where you have the free open Wi-Fi and you've got the one little like login page. That's kind of what it is. Let's double check. And now I'm good to go. Yeah, so you can kind of set it up. It's fine. You kind of set it up easy. There, you meet it. There. I don't know why it just kicked me out. And I think it may have been because I was messing around with the capture portal and I turned it on, and so then it would have kicked my internet off. But you can basically, let me redo this screen share. That will. Okay. So basically, you can enable the capture here. And if you edit, I think it's edit here. Yeah. Then you can say if any of these conditions are met, whether you want it to be, where they're going, what their destination address is, what their destination port is, what their destination interface is, source address, source interface. I mean, there's all kinds of different options. And then you can say is whatever value, and then you can say either to let them pass or capture them. They do a fairly decent job. You can either set up with you can set people that are just going to be passed, and then you can set up a captive page where you'll take your captured people, and you can say, hey, make it a basic login where they type in username and password, or maybe it's just a message. You can actually preview it. Oh, except it's not going to. Here, this is what theirs look like. And it's like, hey, welcome to Untangle Captive Portal. Click continue to connect to the internet. Continue. And then you got login success. So you can either, it's kind of like what you see at like McDonald's or Burger King or Chick-fil-A, where you it's usually it's just like an agree to whatever their terms of use are. But you can set it up, and then this is what I was looking for. You can either say go to local directory, which we looked at it earlier, or you can say configure direct radius server, except we don't have directory connector because directory connector requires it's one of those paid apps, unfortunately. And then you have the logs. So that's kind of an interesting way to allow you to do security. And quite nicely, granted, the PFSense has Captive Portal, but it is by far not that easy to set up as it is here. Very easy. Especially to quick setup and to be able to authenticate not only over your Wi-Fi, but also over Ethernet. So pretty nice. We had firewall. It's probably be pretty much your typical firewall. You're creating your rules of what to block, basically. Then you can look at your event log and see what's passing through. This is kind of nice because it allows you to see ports, where it's going to, usernames, stuff like that. So it'd be kind of interesting. Interesting information to see, especially if you're trying to troubleshoot and figure out what port something's using. But yeah. So it's pretty basic firewall, not anything. There's intrusion protection, prevention. Looks like something you basically just it's set up the way it is at the beginning. Okay. Oh. Oh. Okay, so you guys do have rules. Different attack responses, backdoors, those kind of things. And you can add them, you can add variables. Again, something that probably the average user probably just going to kind of leave alone and let it run. This one I'm kind of interested in because, we all hate ads. No one likes ads. as I update the filters. I'm kind of interested to see. And so I was going to jump to some websites where there would be ads like this wonderful, like Yahoo News ads. Wonder if I can tell it somehow. I guess that's the one downside is looking at it right now is that it's to add things is not very easy. It's obviously blocked some ads but obviously not doing a very good job in any shape or form. Let's go somewhere else. I don't know where. What is it considered as ads? That's how. Well, I guess I should be able to go in and look at the logs. Thinking about that. Just looking through where it's blocked stuff. Because I mean, some of it's just like trying to look and see what how does it block the ad? Like, because it's like, does it just put a blank box? What does it do? I mean, obviously it's blocked some ads already. I'm not finding them. At the same time, it seems like it's missing a lot of ads. I don't know. I guess I feel like it may be one of those things where it's like, I mean, the user interface looks very polished, but that's about where it ends, if you know what I mean. Like, I just feel without the paid features, which are just going to get very expensive very quickly. I mean, you're talking like $600 a year. That's if you just pay me monthly, which I think it's actually the most expensive way to go. Or you can pay, $2,000 for 5 years or something and save some money because But I feel like without those, I guess, those paid features, it's kind of like doesn't quite work the way it should. If you know what I mean. Well, of course. Okay, let's get rid of some. Oh, gotta enable the server. And then gotta add a client. So individual client. I'm wondering like how, okay, there it is, download. Kind of seeing if we're kind of curious to see whether this OpenVPN works any better than the pfSense one, which like I've had a little bit of success, but not a whole lot of success getting that work. Although I think the problem may be because it's the pfSense is behind the router. I think that may be causing its problem. But we see. Let's pull this back. Let's just see if I can connect. Since I already have an open VPN client on my phone, I'm just going to pull it up here and see. now the question is, can I find it in this stupid file structure? Which I can't find it. Oh, the joys of trying to find where something is. We're going to solve this problem. We're going to go to where it is and just open it. Okay, let's see if it. Well, I'm not going to mess around with this. I mean, I think it's. I feel like things are easier to set up on the Untangled, but I just feel like it's without the paid features, it's very much unfinished. I mean, I have to tell you, like, when I first looked at this, when I first saw it, I thought, wow, this looks really nice. It looks great. Now that I've started looking at it, I'm like, I would never want to use this. I mean, yeah, it's easier to navigate around and get to things in the PF Sense, but can't really do anything. Because you remember, I can still pull up the PF Sense. can. Networks within networks within networks. I don't think anyone's ever going to get to me at this rate because I got the modem / router network. Then inside of that, I have a PFSense network, and then inside of that, the Untangle, and then there's me. So it's like, yeah, try to get to me. But you'll kind of remember this lovely, lovely kind of red, white, and gray with some green thrown in there when things are working interface of the PFSense. And there's Captive Portal, just like, except way more complicated. But yeah, it's kind of bringing us to a close. After all the trouble I went through to get the Untangle. Because what I found out, it's kind of frustrating, is that they basically have one copy of the installer that is built for CDs, and it's like hard coded, like to just look, just automatically, no matter where it's coming from, it's looking for the CD, the DVD. It's looking for that. If you can't find that, even if it's on a USB, it's going to look for the CD. So just do is you make sure you get the USB one. So it's like, seems like you could have, most people have figured it out how to, if it's on a CD, it finds it on the CD. If it's on a USB, it finds on USB, but they haven't yet. But, even after all that trouble, I have to say, not worth it. Like, it's just not worth it. I will most likely get my Sophos and just install over it, because it's not worth it. It's just like, it lacks so much features and stuff, and being usable. I don't know. So sorry for all the craziness today, and late show and stuff. I don't know what the Untangle's problem was, but for some reason, when I unplugged it from the network and plugged it in somewhere else, suddenly it just didn't work anymore. So crazy. I don't know. But, so I think we're going to call this a show. Hopefully things sounded okay with the new setup. Super excited to be able to finally use the soundboard and work that. But yeah, awesome doing that. And so that's going to be the show. Oh, wait. One announcement that I need to make is that next week, which will be Good Friday, because it's Good Friday And because my family is going to be in town, we're not going to be doing a show. So we'll be taking the week off. Coming back, I think it's like the 9th or the 10th. Try to find what way is easiest to look up. Okay, here it is. So coming back the 10th. So we'll be off 3rd, come back the 10th. I think the plan right now is that next 2 weeks from now, we'll come back with the Sophos, and then after that, the PF Sense. And the kind of idea is that we'll hopefully spend those 3 weeks in April kind of on those things. And then I'm kind of hoping that maybe in May, I'm hoping then we'll get into some Raspberry Pi stuff. Possibly. We'll see. And hopefully, maybe we can start getting some guests on the show, more guests besides just Colton. I get some other cool people. But yeah, that's it. So that's the end of the show. And now for the post show. Kind of some news. We're still working on getting the Bible show up and running. But we're making progress. Got mics for that. Got the co-host basically on board. Still a little nervous, but I'm getting excited about it. Kind of easing him into that. So hoping we're starting that soon. We finally nailed down a name. So shortly, hopefully, either we'll call it mid to late April. I think we're going to try to aim for. I think that's reasonable. We'll be starting that, and that is going to be the Lighthouse Study Show. It's going to be awesome. We'll talk about the light of the world, being Jesus, and also how to follow in his steps and be the light of the world. So I think it's going to be really good. I think we're going to have some good discussions over there. I know him and I have whenever we have lunch together, we have some really great stimulating conversations. So I kind of feel like that's going to turn off. That's gonna kind of carry over. But yeah, so that'd be fun. Fun. But yeah, and with that, we will be starting up the Life Pad Network. We'll be kind of look to cover a wide variety of subjects, covering kind of in general area of life, and from a Christian perspective. So we will have PTD13, which probably, it'll probably be a little bit more noticeable on the ethical shows. But then obviously Light of the World study show, and then we're hoping to start up a cooking show, which is I think it's gonna have some fun twists to it as we look at how we can pull examples that point back to the Bible and truth, the Bible truth, in cooking. So I think it'll be a lot of fun when we get to that, and got a lot of cool ideas for that. That's gonna be a blast. But yeah, so that's kind of what's going on, what to look forward to. It's kind of the inside scoop that you get for showing up and watching live, if you do. But yeah, so that's it. That's it for the post show. We'll now shut down the Untangled. Its final burial. And it It's shutting down right now. The Untangle gets revenge. We still there? We're still? The Untangle has gotten its revenge. It has revenged itself by causing an interrupt. Since the podcast was running through the Untangle, so when you turn it off, there goes the podcast. But looks like we're going to quickly switch over so we didn't lose too much. But I guess this is me signing off for the night, and see you in 2 weeks. Are we there? Yes. We're back. So yeah, I don't know if you caught that, but the Untangle got its revenge because I was podcasting through it. So when I turned it off, put it to sleep, It took out my internet connection. So that was its revenge for me killing it. But yeah, so we're going to sign off. See you in 2 weeks.